where is the must for the AI implementation or adoption or whatever? Where is it in your business set? Like, where does it become, we have to do this? Because my experience is people do what they must, not what they should. And if it's not killing them currently, they're apt to kick it down the road. Maybe we need to pay more attention to like identifying the proverbial gun to the head to make this change.
Welcome to the Lion's Edge, where top performers sharpen their teeth. Hosted by Joe Blackburn, founder of The Lion, who is relentlessly dedicated to helping business owners lead multi-million-dollar teams. And me, Jason Croft. I transform unseen entrepreneurs into industry leaders by developing their market gravity. Each week, we reveal proven strategies and raw insights to help you maximize your business, multiply your wealth, and make your family indestructible. Now, let's create your edge.
What's your 2026 AI predictions?
I just think more of the same, honestly. I think it's getting more mainstream. It's getting more integrated. I think the spike is leveled off, not in the use of it, but in this, like, everything is AI and every topic is AI and this is going to, it's like people have compared it to the internet. It's part of our daily lives. It's more powerful. I think things like therapy are going away. I think there is a disruption in the dating world. I think all of that. I think it's going deep through everything, and it's here to stay, and it's not going to destroy mankind or anything like that.
It's not what I heard. It's not what I heard on the internet. I heard it was going to replace us and kill us. That's weird. Guess it depends on what you seek out, and then your feed follows. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's big in the coaching world. Like it's a hot topic, or I don't know. It seems like, but when I see it in application, I mean, some people, and maybe I just deal with people that aren't technically savvy, which could be true, but it's like, when am I going to learn this? Who am I going to teach it to? How do we actually utilize it so that it does something other than, it replaces, I guess, mundane tasks or whatever. But are there really people out there making a ton of money with it? Because everything I'm actually reading is they're all losing money.
What do you mean by they're all losing money? Like, who's they?
Like the people developing the technology, the people that are, I'm not sure the end user. We use it a lot. I just don't know that it's the savior that everyone says it is. It probably will be. I'll probably be wrong, but I don't know.
It's a major shift and disruption. It's interesting because you're seeing it on the different, I don't think it's two ends, but I think it's on the outskirts everywhere so much. Because you do see it at the giant corporate level. And it's interesting because it is so mainstream that the Salesforce ads, the big high-end companies, they're targeting these folks at AI, and the end user, certain groups are finding them, but that vast middle, I think, is falling into what you're talking about. Yeah, that's something I need to deal with, and we need to figure out how to integrate that and use it in the best way. So when I've got some time, I'll go and do that. And I don't think that's happening. I think the outliers are still the ones who are deep into it, have been for a year plus, and using it constantly. So it's an interesting adoption curve to me.
What I see is, okay, I have all my habits, my rhythm, all that stuff. And now you talk about disruption. Yeah, it disrupts because now I've got to put something that's basically foreign into my routine, develop that habit, and not drop the ball on the other side. And then it seems like as soon as that happens, it changes. It reminds me of a period like where planning for what I went through, where like the planning tools changed dramatically. And now it's normal, but that took 10 years for people to utilize the tool, especially on the spin. So like when I got into being the director, we would spend all this money at the, you know, corporate level, and you have to for R&D and development and all those things, but the adoption in the actual field was extremely slow.
Yeah. But I think now there's a have to adoption so much faster because of what the tech really is, which is somebody spinning up a brand new company to compete with the financial tools you're using right now. And this small little company is using it and it's skyrocketing. So we have to make that shift. We can't sit around and think about it or we'll be dead in a year. And I think those kind of things are the big push to where there just isn't the luxury of, well, let's slowly roll this out. Let's get people comfortable. There's a little more of like, it's time. Let's go.
Well, so that would make me think, where's the must in your business? Where is the must for the AI implementation or adoption or whatever? Where is it in your business set? Like, where does it become, we have to do this? Because my experience is people do what they must, not what they should. And if it's not killing them currently, they're apt to kick it down the road. So I want, and I look at the spectrum of businesses, like where does the must lie in each one of them? I think that's something maybe we need to pay more attention to, like identifying, you know, the proverbial gun to the head to make this change. Quite frankly, I'm not sure where that is in everyone's, everybody's got a different business, different team, different way they go about doing things. And it's like anything else. If I go to the doctor when I'm like to the point of where I've, delayed it.
Almost can't get there.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, my wife would be like, "Are you going to go to the doctor?" Yes, I'm going to call him. Did you set the appointment? I'm going to, like, I just keep, because I don't want to go to the doctor because I'm not
Right.
dead. So why would I, go sit and wait for 45 minutes and then have him walk in for 5 minutes and say, "You're too fat." Like, no shit.
Yeah. And say like, okay, this will probably go away on its own. And
Yeah,
I know. That's what I figured. Yeah.
yeah. Here's a Z pack. Thanks. I don't know. Maybe we've talked about this too much. You can't bury your head in the sand. I don't know. It's like hard to judge where is the inflection point? And do you get super prepared for it and take all your time and energy to prepare for it? Or I don't know. That's been on my mind. Even in our business, I'm like, we use, I can handle so many more clients because of Fathom. Because I don't have to dig through my piles of notebooks, and I mean, I get a summary and everything, and I'm like, I know what's going on, and I know my business well enough to know what's important, and I always want to get better and faster. But in any given business, I mean, I think the obvious, anything that can be, what is it, automated or go through the AED or whatever and see if AI can do it.
Well, yeah, and I think that's a great way to look at it. Find the must, but also just like any other tool, running your business, what's the biggest fire right now, and what's the one that keeps coming up over again? And I think at the minimum, just have the AI lens as opposed to beating your head against the wall like you've done for the last 5 years, and this problem keeps coming up. Okay, is there an AI solution for this? Right? Is it a tool? Is it a new thing? Or is it someone, that same team that's been running into this problem, is it that team armed with an AI solution, able to get through it and work? And I think that's the piece of it. And I guess that's what I mean by sort of that leveling off, just in the sense of, well, yeah, I use Fathom every day. I use this tool and that tool. I use Claude to write, and I'm doing more and better, honestly, better output, actually getting to things and a higher level of quality just because it's layered in. And I think that's the main media, the vast majority group that where that's going to implement. And there's going to be these pockets, these outliers. I think certain industries will vanish because, oh, just all of a sudden we looked up in 2 years and, well, no, I don't really go to a therapist. I just talk to this AI and it gets in whatever that industry is. I think those things are going to happen. And that's where we need to keep our head on a swivel looking for in whatever industry you're in. And that's the piece that's the non-negotiable to me is this is that big a deal, right? That you could be out of business tomorrow. And at the same time, you don't have to, again, bury your head in the sand. The sky isn't falling, because if you could be out of business, well, okay, well, let's get ahead of that. What can I do in my business? What do I disrupt my own company in order to stay ahead? And that actually becomes an advantage.
Yeah, I mean, on on YouTube and everyone, there's people saying, everyone on my team has to use AI. Here's the 11 tools. Here's the 10 things all the normal thumbnails or whatever. And I'm sure they're good. I know Lauren, who's in Mexico right now, not in California, working. No, I'm just kidding. She well-deserved family trip. Are there companies out there that'll come in and audit your business? Are there, they'll come in and look at your operations and say, use it. I'm assuming that's springing up.
Yeah. And that is, there are those consultants in there, just like anything else. It's finding the ones who, okay, did you just discover Chat GPT yesterday? And and you have the cojones to walk into a Fortune 500 company and call yourself a consultant, and you're doing that. But if you can find those folks who do have that 20 years corporate experience, this is my world, and they've been deep in AI and they know where those efficiency are, and they've been connecting the dots in their head as soon as they discovered AI, a year, 2 years ago, and find those folks who are speaking that. And it isn't the typical YouTube thumbnail of here's the top 10 things you need to do. They know the real challenge, like you're getting at here, is there's all the headlines, but then there's the real challenge of, yeah, that's great. How do you make this work in a company of X size?
Yeah. Well, I think maybe a challenge I may throw out is find one thing that you're going to attack with AI. Like, we're doing our business plans right now. Look across your business and where's one thing that could be done with AI? You gotta have a starting point. Like, you can't change them all at once.
To your point of, you go through this, you make that change, and then there's a new tool, and then there's a new tool. Well, just let in the fact there's always going to be
change is inevitable.
new thing. Right. And you don't have to change with everyone. Right. You get a roll and you get a rhythm, and you're 50% better than you were by not using this. Well, you don't have to jump to the next tool in a month because it's 51% better. Like, stay with some things, find that, and find those folks who are literate in AI. They know this stuff. And yes, as silly as it sounds, go to ChatGPT, go to Claude, go to these tools and say, hey, here's my business. Here's what I do. Here's my challenge. Where would I use AI to attack this? If you have nobody in your circle who is deep in this stuff, start there and grab onto these things. And, maybe it's setting a time limit. Maybe it's setting a focus limit so you don't go down 17 rabbit holes. But
I would say Just pick something and try it. And if you need help, get help. I mean, there's absolutely no shortage of people willing to help. I don't know the capability. I think when I look at it, I think the bigger issue after you've identified, this is obvious, how do I get adoption and compliance? Like how to use it? Because, I deal mostly in this thing, the inside. Well, okay, so go to your number 3 person and give them a new tool. There's where I think people need the help is how do I get implementation? And I'm assuming, maybe I should look deeper, there's got to be some sort of done for you, done with you. Like I said, if I can identify the area, try that. So for 2026, pick one.
At a minimum, one per quarter of,
Yeah.
we're going to.
Oh, I like that.
And like you talked about earlier, find those musts, find those things, that nagging, we just can't get in front of this. We just can't. Use that one as your test case.
So in our business planning for 26, one of the things I ask is, what are your top 3 daily frustrations? Well, what's the 3 things that piss you off all day long? Just figure that there might be a solution. Pick one of those.
You'll find in this process too, if you haven't really gone deep in it, pick those 3 areas of irritation and go through it with folks who are fluent in AI or just AI itself. And a lot of solutions that'll come up aren't necessarily AI solutions, but you'll work through and find a human solution to some of these things that you hadn't thought of before, because it's pulling from some other industry and some other realm of knowledge that you may walk out with 3 solutions to those irritations that have nothing to do with AI, but you hadn't thought of them because you've been looking this one way at them.
Well, as you're saying that, a role or a job or for companies, and I'm not talking huge corporations, they have departments, but if you're running a 10-person shop, I would see at some point there's someone that's your AI quarterback, right? Like that's their job.
Yeah.
I need you to stay out in front, figure out what works, and implement across the business. I mean, that's probably going to, you're talking about displacement or disruption in jobs. That might be a whole new avenue if it probably already exists, but I'm talking about for, small to medium-sized businesses where they don't have a corporate budget or department or all those other things, that maybe designating in the beginning someone, and then that could be their thing. I wonder if they teach it in college. My son said they had a project on it. You would think that might be a new topic.
Well, you would hope.
It's not strategy.
Yeah. I wouldn't assume that they're teaching it.
That's fair. That's fair.
I would hope that they are.
Well, all right, that's good. I'm going to run with that. Find out what the frustrations are across the board and see if we can do that. I also you had a really good, quarterly, pick an AI project, add that into so we do in our flight plans. You can just, in your 90 days, what's the one AI thing? All right. See, I think I got more out of this than anyone else will. Great job, Jason.
Nice. You've just experienced the Lion's Edge. If this episode lit a fire, if you're ready to push past your current ceiling, there's more waiting for you. Want to see what it takes to become a member of the Lion? Visit jointhelion.com to discover how successful entrepreneurs become unstoppable forces. And make sure you never miss an episode by hitting subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. This isn't just content. This is your edge.
This show is powered by Media Leads. Tired of being overlooked in your industry? Learn how market gravity can transform you into the leader everyone's talking about by going to MediaLeadsCo.com.